So, if you are 18 to 25, right, 10 deep advice you wish your older brother told you. And this advice cuts across women, personal development, friendship, relationships that will drastically improve your life and make you do less stupid shit. So if you watch the video to the very end, where I have the two most important advice, if you can describe all of the advice, the two most important advice are the very, very end, right? Because they are most relatable. Number one advice, right? Mind you, I'm making this video because I have two young cousins who basically look up to me for their advice, right? From relationships to dating and shit, right? And I come to realize that our lengthy conversation, I should bring them down to just 10 advice like I can give to you as a person. By the way, if you like the ideas you hear in this video and they resonate deeply with you, share this video with somebody who you know will find it helpful. Number one, the advice that works, that by the way, I leave this advice is one, save yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. Now, for me, I went to a private university, and in a private university, we all have this idea that, oh, for our parents to be able to afford here, it means that we are somewhat privileged to an extent. And our parents' privilege would extend to us in terms of connections and shit. But something happened. In my 100 level, right, in my first year of university, my father had cancer, right? And to an extent, my father was basically preparing his books, aka making sure that we are good, right, before like he passes or something. And looking at this man who I basically respected very much, looking at the fact that this man may pass, like he may just pass out with all this cancer treatment, and I'll be stuck. Because I saw a lot of students drop out simply because at the point when I entered university, I think after my first year, we got into like a recession. So many people could no longer afford the fees, so they had to drop out of the private school. And it made me realize that, bro, I had to get my shit in order as early and as quick as possible. So that was a defining moment for me. That made me realize that, bro, I had to save myself. Nobody's going to save me, not my father, not inheritance. And I've been having that mindset ever since that. Saving myself has basically made me adopt my life, adopt as much responsibility for myself. So that's the first advice. Two is you need some form of goal or dream, something to look forward to, because if you don't have anything you're looking forward to, trust me, you're basically useless. You're basically wasted. You will distract yourself. You keep doing the dumbest shit all in the name of validating other people's opinion. You keep falling to things like peer pressure, distraction, whether it's from friends, from women. So for me, the first time I had any real goal set was in my university, where at the same time, while all this was happening, right? Mind you, before my university, I had gone to three high schools because I was suspended twice. I was expelled once. So I kind of like had like a very, very rough high school, right? So coming to university, we're talking to like these guys, we call them the OGs because these guys for a 4-year course, most of them have spent more than 5 years. So we call them OGs basically. So we're all talking to this OG someday, and I walked into like the speech, and I tried to like make the place look lively and shit, not knowing that he was like talking to like the younger ones. I just came in, I greeted my guy, and I was like, I thought he was basically our mate. So the way I greeted him, he was like, bro, I'm not your mate. Then he was like, okay, what department am I in? I was like, yeah, I'm computer science, right? He's like, looking at me, he knows that I will not finish my degree in 4 years. Mind you, computer science is 4 years. And it's like people who join my department, they have a 25% chance of graduating in 4 years. At that moment, I felt very bad, and I said, I would make it a goal for me. I will make it a goal for me to graduate in 4 years. To me, that was a challenge. What that means is, bro, I want to be part of that 25% that graduates in 4 years. So that was where I'm like, you know what? And that completely, it made me understand the idea of goals. Because it made me understand the idea of focus, of distraction. Knowing fully well that, bro, I coupled with the fact that a few months later was when my father had cancer. I was like, okay, maybe this is a way of maybe stars aligning for my favor and shit, right? So it has maybe become goal-oriented even after university, even afterwards, everything, right? Three is be careful of your friends, because most of the people you hang out with are really not your friends. Most of the people you call friends, they are in your life because of two reasons, majorly. One, condition, right? Oh, we grew up in the same area, let's be friends. Two, bad habits. Now, if you don't believe me, ask yourself, how many of your friends do you think are headed somewhere in life? How many of your friends know about your goals? Do you know about the aspirations of the men in your life? How can you probably don't? Because what you guys basically do is just what? Do a lot of random activities together. So when shit hits the fan, because shit will always hit the fan, these guys don't have your back. Or they have your back for what? For things that are easy. For example, we often saw cases where guys will get suspended and the other guys who weren't suspended will move on with their life quick. In terms of obviously they have to move on, but they won't even check up on the guys who were suspended. Like in my very front, and it made me realize that, oh shit, these guys are not really guys as they portray. They're not really guys as they portray. Just guys who come together for a bunch of bad habits, right? So what should you do when it comes to friendships? You see, when you have your own goals and you're serious about your own goals, naturally you tend to be selective of the people you hang around with. And to be very honest, looking back at it, that was what I think happened. Where most of the people I was surrounded by were people who were on their own path towards a level of personal development. They were kind of like goal oriented. Like I said, I didn't really make this an intention, but it sort of happened simply because I had that goal of leaving the school in 4 years. And for me to leave the school in 4 years, I had to make sure that I was like at least in the top 25 percentile. That was, and trust me, one thing for sure that I would say is that knowing that I had that goal kind of like made my life much better. So that's why I tell people that self-improvement starts with you having a goal for yourself. Without a goal, right? Even though that goal is not like the conventional goal, trust me, you need to have one. And this leads me to point 5, which is knowing that your friends don't know what they are doing, right? Have mentors. Have men who are a few years older than you, who have been to the stage where you are in life and are willing to what? Help you get to your next level. So for me, that involved me speaking to men who were older than me. Because a typical example was when I was at the gym one day, I kept on working out with this guy who was giving me advice for like university, for college, right? And this guy felt like a God-sent person. He said something that got my attention because around that same time, I was talking to a girl, mind you, we're vibing 100 level, right? And he was like, bro, leave the women in your 100 level alone because they will not really respect you. At first, it was like a cliche saying, but it hits me hard because there was a lady I was talking to, right, who was hanging out with men in their what? In their 400 level. And she basically did not even look at my side. And then it dawned on me that, oh shit, this guy is factual. And he made a point that these guys in their 400 level, they are more confident, they are more established, they had more resources, they had more game. So instead, I should focus on myself. And then that made sense. Again, we kept on hanging out more often. And this particular guy I'm talking about is somebody who has spent more than 5 years in the school for a 4-year degree course. What that means is he had made dumb mistakes. He has seen people who had made dumb mistakes. And he just basically wants me to make less dumb mistakes ever since. So that was like my first step into having a mentor. And ever since, it has been making sense to me to hang around men who are older than me and who will make me make less stupid choices, right? Speaking of less stupid choices, number 6 idea is don't do drugs no matter what. Drugs are not worth it. You see, I want to talk about how it's a distraction. I'll talk about the brain health. So, coupled with the fact that I had, mind you, the hall I stayed in was a hall of OGs, men who were older than me. So, when it came to not doing drugs, I could look at the people who were doing drugs and look at the people who were not doing drugs. I could tell the difference. The difference around men who were doing drugs was very, very clear. They were the slowest. They walked the slowest. And in my very front, right, I could see people who were overdosing on drugs from a very, very young age. Overdosing. We had guys who would pass out, they would faint. There was a guy who passed out and he never woke up. So in my very front, I'm like, hold on. What the fuck is going on here? Mind you, in my very hall. And the crazy part is that in the hall that had the younger people in, we had more guys passing out. So basically, the hall I was that had the OGs had less guys passing out because these guys were much more serious about life. They've probably failed and watched people fail. That's why they were doing less dumb shit. So drugs itself kind of like affects the brain. You walk slowly, you talk stupidly, you do dumb shit. When you're on drugs, you get to do things that you regret while you're sober. So trust me, and one thing I got to realize is anything you need drugs to perform at, that thing is not for you. It's not you yet. You don't have that confidence yet. If you need drugs to talk to women, and most of the guys who were quote unquote getting the women, they didn't really have confidence. They did not. Man, they went to a private school, so a lot of them, rich kids, super rich kids, a lot of them were hyped on drugs to talk to women. And you'll be like, what the fuck is going on here? Speaking of women, right? Number seven, the most seven thing here is women are a very, very big distraction while you're young. They are a big distraction, right? Because to be very, very honest, when you're very young, knowing that the girls at your age are looking at guys ahead of you in life, you'll be forced to want to do a lot of stupid shit to impress them. So you put them on the pedestal. You begin to worship them like they are not human beings. When you process, what happens? You start simping for women. You start losing respect. Mind you have not built yourself to do anything serious in life. So where would the respect come from? Why should they respect you? Knowing fully well that women are a distraction, what should you really do with them, right? You can keep them around. You can talk to them. You can, again, this will even force you to talk to women while you're broke because it makes you understand how women vibe. And it makes you realize that in life, when it comes to women, you are supposed to go for the women that are interested in you. Not seeing a woman and try to get her interested in you. That's a recipe for disaster. So always go for women who vibe with you, who are interested with you or you in the first place. So women relationships when you're young are really, really not worth it. Always make sure that your goals are your priority. They're your number one priority. While you're young, never even make a woman your number 1, 2, 3 priority. Your goal is number one. Yourself, your well-being is number 2. Because I saw a lot of dumb niggas who weren't taking care of themselves, but were taking care of their babes. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And most relationships you see from young people often lead towards breakups. And that's the harsh truth. Harsh truth. 90% or 95% of the relationships always blow up. So if you want to be the exception, be my guest, right? And again, when I'm talking to women, while you're young, understand female nature. Never argue with women because it's always a losing battle. So I said priorities are your goals, yourself, the people that your immediate circle, then women. That will kind of like make you see women from a distance and make sure that you're not doing dumb shit for women, right? And speaking of women, number 8 is don't date women while you are less than 25. Because when you're less than 25, mind you, I had this idea before all this research of brain and male health is that you don't know what you want in a woman. And if I tell you to pause this video now and write out 3 things you want in a woman, can you tell me? Yet, most guys in their 30s now are complaining that they are not wife materials. Simply because while you were young, you were programming your head to chase baddies. You were programming your head to be with women who are for only recreational purposes. So, while you are talking to them, not dating them when you're much younger, when you get to 25, you should have established a pattern that you have noticed among women. Oh, the women who dress this way are a green flag. The women who act this way is a red flag. You would have known this already in your head while you're dealing with them. And trust me, like the things you get in a relationship, right? Some of them you can get out of a relationship already. I'm sorry, I didn't create the culture. I didn't sponsor the culture, but it is what it is. So, regardless, don't date women while you are what? Less than 25. Now, number 9, which is like super. See, if you don't take any advice in this video because of who the fuck am I? Number 9 is very important. Learn from the mistakes of other people. That is just about the best advice you can give to any young man because with basic common sense, you can see that the guys who do drugs are often slower. They often end up doing dumb shit. They're often the most stupid people. The people who are vaping, taking drugs. They're the ones, in my time, right? They were the ones who did not really have the confidence around women. And I'm very grateful that I didn't take that shit, right? Now, even alcohol is even glorified. To be very, very frank. Oh, yo, Zen, yeah. To be very frank, alcohol is overrated. It's fucking overrated. Even smoking, even drugs. So it's like, if all these things are really overrated, why the fuck do we glorify them? If you don't believe me, walk up to your older brother or your cousin, somebody who truly loves you, right? And ask the person, and maybe the person has done all these drugs before, ask them, Like, what's the experience like? Do you think something that I should really, really do and hear what they say? Often, the reason why older brothers don't want their younger brothers getting involved in drugs, they know this because truly, truly, it's a big waste of time. The things that you need drugs, the things, for example, talking to women, the things that you think you need drugs to perform, right? They're not really part of you. It means that you lack that courage as a man. And trust me, for me, it was a challenge to talk to women without being high. And that's always been, I'll say, good for me, better for me. And number 10 thing, right, is you are not missing out of anything as a man. If you look at your future, the goals you have for yourself, if you look at your own future and look around and say, okay, you know what, this is my goal right now. If you see those guys partying, you will not miss out on it because you are focused on your future. Now, I'm not here to say, oh, I lived a 100% boring life. While I was like having a goal in my university days, throughout my 4 years, I probably went for like maybe maximum, not up to 10 parties. And one thing I got to realize is yes, we had fun, yes, we danced, zero drugs, alcohol, quite all right. I got to realize that I was not missing out on jack shit. I did not miss out on anything. And think about it. Looking back at it, I never met somebody who says he wished he partied more. And just made me realize that all these things are heavily overrated. From the parties to the drinking to the high body counts, they are overly overrated. So knowing this, you should not be pressured. Knowing this, peer pressure should not be your problem as a man, right? So, by the way, for women, it's a different ballgame, right? Those women are always socially pressured, but like I said, if they're not they're not really a problem. So, hopefully, if any of the ideas you heard in this video resonated with you, right, and you know that yes, you're not the kind of guy who wants to do dumb shit, which is best advice is learn from other people's mistakes, learn from people's successes, learn from people's mistakes, and trust me, you would definitely reap the rewards of what you sow. By the way, that's the best advice I've always gotten. You're going to reap the rewards of what you sow. So it's better for you to sow the right seeds and the good seeds. If you like any of the ideas that you heard in this video, I want you to please share with a with somebody who wished his older brother gave him similar advice. Talk to you soon and bye for now, bro.